So what's going on, everybody? This is part two to the video that I just did probably a little while ago, talking about how we lost an account, but also got an opportunity to get an even larger account just by that door closing and making room for that new opportunity. So I'm gonna kind of go into detail a little bit about, some things that kind of I feel as I kind of look back on the whole situation on what I could have done to actually keep that account. But moving forward is what I'm going to do moving forward to kind of make sure this doesn't happen again. But also, I'm going to let you know some things that I did in the proposal for this new opportunity that I feel helped us kind of get the chance to even sit with their leadership to kind of see if we're going to move forward with this account. So let's start with what went wrong, right? So with that account, it was a church account. We were doing it just once a week, but it was every week, so it was pretty decent, um, consistent income that was coming in. I had a subcontractor in it. It was on the other side of town, right? Every day they would do it. Every week they would do it on a Friday, and everything went. To my understanding, it went well. Everything was cool. There was no issues or anything like that. They've had multiple changes in their leadership over there, their staff, the pastor, the administrative team, and all that other stuff. So I don't even know who the new people are that even responded to me or sent the message to me. But what I realized is that I got comfortable, right? And we can often get comfortable, especially when we start getting more and more accounts and we're no longer actually doing the cleaning for the most part, but we're more so subcontracting it out. We have to put systems in place to make sure that these accounts are getting quality checked, inspected on a recurring basis, right? And I admit that that's the thing that kind of slipped up for me, only because I'm the one that's doing the inspections, I'm the one that's doing the quality check, and it's on the other side of town, and I have to go there within at a certain time period to be able to do the inspection. So I let it slip. But my thing with my clients has always been, or has always been, if you ever have an issue, just let me know and we'll make sure that it gets rectified as soon as possible. And that's what did not happen. We just found out when it was over, or that, when they sent the message that they no longer wanted our services. Right. So that's on me. And I take full accountability. I don't blame the subcontractor at all, because it's my responsibility as the owner, as the person that's overseeing everything, to make sure that it's being quality checked, it's being inspected. In addition to that, they weren't doing some things that they should have been doing that would probably maybe would have helped me kind of realize that I need to go out there and kind of look at the account. But that's still not on them. That's on me, because I didn't push the fact. So with that being said, make sure that you are absolutely performing your quality checks, your inspections, whether it be once a week, every other week, or whatever, daytime checks, evening checks, depending on the type of account that it is. And they should be unannounced. Don't let the subcontractor know when you're coming, because when they know you're coming, they're going to work a little bit harder. You want to catch them when they're doing their everyday cleaning, right? Something they should be following every day. We want to see how they perform when they don't know somebody's watching over them, right? And I think I got comfortable, and possibly my subcontractor got comfortable. But to be honest, what I ultimately believe that happened, if you remember, I said before that the leadership has changed over a period of time, and this is completely new leadership. I believe, because we haven't heard of anything being wrong at all, I believe they just wanted to go a new route. They wanted to bring in their own people or whatever, the people that we were inherited by them, right? So they want their own people in there, and that's fine. That's cool. And if that was the case, I wish they would have said that, but it's neither here nor there. Like I said, it opened an opportunity for me. So moving forward, I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about the proposal that I sent out, and I'm not going to really put up the proposal, because I don't want you to see the information. Maybe if I want to put it in a template, um, only because it's some personal information in there, and I don't want to do that and do all the highlighting all the covering up that stuff, so I'm not going to do it. But I will kind of break it down to you as detailed as possible, right? So the proposal is for a, let's call it a community center, right? It's a large community center in the area. And in the proposal, if you're in the CBN group, if you're in automations, you've seen a copy of the proposals that we've created in the automations course that has a cover page with, a design that I created in Canva and I uploaded to the CBN CRM. So I have a template for all of my proposals. That's how they start off with that on it. And as a matter of fact, and I can show you that. I have no problems with showing you that part. So let's show you that real quick. Right. So this is what that looks like. And hopefully I'm not in the wrong spot. See what it looks like. All right, cool. So this is what the proposal kind of will start off looking like. So I did that. I created it, like I said, in Canva. So that's what my cover page is. And another thing that I do is when it comes to the colors of the background and the outlines, I usually have the colors match whatever the logo is of the client that I'm sending the proposal out to, right? So that's what I normally do. Also, I'll have the next page will be who the proposal is for with a copy of their logo on it. I'll have an opening kind of introductory page, just telling them a little bit about the company, letting them know, what qualities that we bring to the table, how bringing us on board as their janitorial services provider will benefit them, and just some stuff to kind of promote what we do and how we've been doing it over the period of time, right? Then after that, we break it down we give them the scope of work, but I broke the scope of work down into two options. The one option is what was within their budget, and then the other option is what I recommended, right? And so I will put those in the proposal one after the other. The first one is called budget conscious coverage, right? And I put it that way so that they absolutely knew that this is what fits within their budget. I let them know it fits in between the $1,000 to $2,000 range that they were initially looking to get. And I showed them exactly what it was that they got out of that option, right? And then in the next option, I said full coverage plan. But I've heard a lot of people call it, luxury plan or premium plan or whatever you want to call it, something to kind of, differentiate between the options. You don't have to do options. You can just do one option just off of what they tell you within your walkthrough consultation with them. Or in a situation like this, I gave them multiple options. Only reason is because when you find out what their budget is and you realize that what you provide, you would charge more, then that's why I came up with an option, two different options, because I knew that for what they were asking for, I would have let the account go, right? I would have just said, no, I can't do it within that budget. But why shut the door on that opportunity when I can, like I said in a previous interview or previous video, you can educate them and let them know what you actually provide and what services they really need for, what they're actually looking to have accomplished. So if you let them know, hey, okay, well, this is what you can get with the budget that you're asking for, but from an experienced and educated perspective, this is probably more so what you're looking for the result that you're trying to get. And hopefully that makes sense. So I gave them that option, let them know what was included in that scope of work. And then within that, I gave them a breakdown of what the pricing agreement was, option one, option two, right? And here's one thing that I think possibly, well, not one thing, another thing that I think possibly helped with getting this account. And I learned this from a previous bid opportunity that I did not get, but probably like a couple of months later, I met the person that was responsible for that account at a networking event, right? And I talked to him and, we had a great conversation and he remembered me, I remembered him. And, you know, I asked him questions, you know, what kind of helped you decide to go with this company as opposed to any other company or me? And he told me, right? And I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. That was smart. And that, you know, it's smart because it's experience. They've been there before. They understood what needed to happen in order to get the account. So this is what I did with this account. So this is a community center, you know, where you have memberships and stuff like that. And a lot of things, a lot of people are really for people that have an investment in whatever it is that they're doing. So for instance, this, right? The people that interviewed me or that had the meeting with me in reference to the walkthrough, they made a statement and it triggered what the gentleman had told me, right? He asked because I told him that I was in there because I was trying to find a place for my mom to go because she's older and I wanted something for her to do, you know, exercise wise, you know, socializing wise when it comes to older people. And that's why I was in there initially. And because I was in there and I saw the how the facility looked, I left my card letting them know that I'm a cleaning company and that if they were looking for cleaning services, they could reach out to me. Timing was just absolutely amazing because they called me the next week, right? So what he said was, he asked, he said, well, did your mom join? I said, no, not yet, but you know, it's a work in progress. That's something that I'm planning on doing. So when I was doing this proposal, I remembered what the gentleman had told me from the proposal that I lost. And this is what he said. He said, the reason why, one of the reasons why that they went with the other company is one, because it was a bigger company that could handle the amount of locations that they had, which I completely understood. I was not hurt. I definitely get it. Probably would have done the same thing, right? The other thing that was absolutely game changing was they also said that anybody that was going to be working in their facility, any of their employees or whatever, were actually going to be given a membership, right? So I added that perk as an employee perk into my agreement so that says that any of the employees that we're going to have employees at this location only because, well, it's a whole nother reason why we're going to use employees instead of subcontractors. But any of the employees that we're going to have that are going to be servicing the facility are going to be given a membership to that facility so that they'll be able to utilize that facility also, right? And that goes a long way because it shows that you're invested in the facility that you're actually servicing, right? So you're actually, you know, patronizing them and and vice versa, they're actually using your services. So I think that's something that helped a great deal and kind of put us over the top, even though our proposal bid was probably a lot more than anybody else's. And normally, you know, that doesn't always happen, but I think because of the value that we provided and the investment that we also are going to put into their facility, they're going to give us an opportunity to move forward with actually getting the account, which I believe we're going to do well. Another thing that I also include, I make sure that in the terms and conditions, I let them know specifically what holidays we will not be working, you know, whether they're open or not, because you have to give your team a break at some point in time. They have families and stuff like that. So you want to make sure that you give them the ability to spend time with their families, right? I include in my proposals a workman's compensation form, a copy of the workman's compensation form, general liability insurance form, letting them know that we currently have it, right? Which even though once you get the account, you're going to give them this information already. But what I've learned is that when you already have that stuff available and you put it in front of them and you say, hey, this is what we have, this is what we have, and this is what we have, it shows that you're organized and it shows that you're prepared, as opposed to them having to go back and forth with a company that, well, hey, do you guys have this? Can you send this to me? Do you have this? Can you send that to me? Right? They don't want to go through all that. They want to be able to know that, hey, they have all their ducks in a row and they're ready to go as soon as we pull the trigger, right? So I have that in the proposal, and then one of the last things that I have is the acceptance agreement. And with this specific frame or framework of an agreement where I have options, at the bottom I have select a service option. You select option 1, which was the budget conscious option, but option 2, which is the option that gives them everything that they wanted, that they said that they wanted, right? And then I added another option for them, which is a customized plan. So I put that customized plan in there because if they didn't want to go with the budget option, they saw that the option that I suggested or recommended in reference to what they said they wanted was at this price. Now you think, well, what if we kind of tweak that down a little bit so that it's not as high, but it's higher, that it gives us kind of a little bit of everything, but not all of everything, right? So it can bring that cost down. So I kind of played with their thought process in reference to the number that I showed them that it was going to cost to get everything that they wanted. So I gave them 3 options: option 1, option 2, and then a customized option that can kind of blend all of it in there, right? That did not have a price on it because that would be more customized. So it depends on what they want, how often they want it, would determine what that price would be. And that would encourage them to have more dialogue with me back and forth, right? So with that being said, when I submitted this, I did do a follow-up the following day to make sure that they got the proposal. And then they sent me an email, hey, we have a few more follow-up questions, right? And the follow-up questions were asking about, well, what if we have other days? Will we get discounted on this, discounted on that, and stuff like that? So I knew I had them on the hook. I knew that they were interested. So I just played along with it and I answered their questions immediately. As soon as I got the email, I responded back to them. And then I also followed up to make sure that they got that. So, I think that's some of the things that helped me get, a little bit further in the process. And this takes time because, like I said, we have to meet with their leadership because they can't, because of the amount of the proposal, they have to confer with their leadership to see if it's approved or not. And hopefully it will be. I have my fingers crossed and I prayed and all that good stuff. So hopefully you we'll have some great news for you guys coming up later on. Hopefully this was a good video for you to kind of and give you some insight on what, how we lost the other account, how we could have corrected that issue, but moving forward, what kind of strategies and techniques we're going to use to make sure that that doesn't happen again. And I think another thing that I want to share real quick before I get off is that if you have a CRM, which if you're in CBN, you have access to a CRM, you just have to learn how to utilize it. Get into the Clean Business Automations program at cleanbiznetwork.com and select automations, and we'll provide all of these workflows, automations, forms, templates for proposals, pretty much anything you can think about will help you. It'll already be uploaded into your account if you're in automations. If you're just in the regular CBN membership group, you won't get the automations and all the forms and stuff like that, but you have the ability to learn or to have a one-on-one with me or AJ to kind of help you get through some of the things that you have questions about. But think about this: when you get into automations or automating your business, think about having automatic feedback forms or customer client issue forms that they can fill out, so that when they fill out those forms or whatever of any issues that's going on in the facility, because say for instance you hadn't gotten there to do your inspection, they can fill out a form, take a picture of whatever the issue is, submit it, and it goes directly to you, your staff, your VA, possibly the subcontractor that's responsible, or the cleaner that's responsible for that account automatically. That's an automations that you can set up within the CRM to make that happen. It makes life a little bit easier, so that when people are walking around the facility, they see something, oh, let me fill out this form. And you can also put a QR code up somewhere, like in the restrooms and the lobby, at the front desk or whatever, and it says, are there any cleaning issues that you would like addressed, or give us feedback on clean, whatever, however you want to word it, but it's basically, an accountability for you and your team. And it's also letting the client know that at any time, if there's an issue, they can reach out to you and let you know, and that you guarantee that you're going to go and make sure you rectify that situation. You guarantee that you're going to fix that pain point that they have. So video a little bit longer than I wanted, but hopefully it was value added information. With that being said, Lewis was Squeaky Clean here in South Carolina, and also the founder of Clean Success Academy, and also Clean Success Staffing Solutions, which is a VA for the cleaning business owners, but it's going to switch over and we're going to grow into service-based industries. With that being said, you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll catch you on the next video.